You're born into this world completely unable to survive. Your caretakers house, feed, and clothe you until you can do it for yourself. But really, they just teach you how to survive in the current system. Now people don't get raised to walk out into the world and locate food. It's way more complicated. A few hundred years ago, foraged food would have been part of the diet of pretty much everyone. There weren't fences blocking entrance to every single bit of wide open land. Now few people have any idea what they can eat that grows wild on the land around them. Our parents now raise us to know what's available to eat in the stores and restaurants. The freedom to get what you need without exchanging money is gone. We are ill-equipped for survival by our wits should anything happen to our current complicated system. We've been programmed to be like everyone else. I'm trying to teach my son what he can forage. I know it's weird, but maybe he will show his kids and they will know they aren't limited. Hopefully, he'll never need to rely on what I've taught him. I think it's a parent's responsibility to prepare the next generation for anything that might come at them. The people walking out of Venezuela, Syria, and North Africa, I bet they never believed this day would come. Stuff happens. Be prepared. There's something awe-inspiring to see someone create something out of raw materials. The primitive technology channels have taken off like crazy. We sit behind screens and watch in amazement that people can make something from next to nothing. Starting from sticks, rocks, and clay, they can build shelters, weave mats and fabric, and start fires. But now, we've become psychologically dependent on modern technology. Take a kid's cell phone away and see what I mean. How dependent we are now has made us easily exploitable, predictable, controllable, and vulnerable. The following is an incomplete list of skills that we're losing to technology. Navigation. When maps were invented, we began to lose the ability to figure out our direction with visual clues. Like the crescent moon, when it's at the highest point in the sky, a line drawn connecting the points and heading to the horizon will show you the direction south. How many people know that? Memorizing numbers. Now we use our phones to store numbers, but not our brains. Adding large numbers without paper. I imagine even before telephones, we'd already lost the ability to communicate over long distances, such as with smoke and drums, or even trained pigeons. We hardly ever write letters anymore. Something we may be losing is the ability to talk to strangers. I see kids struggling to make eye contact with adults and their peers. We've mostly lost the ability to make fire without matches, lighters, or modern tools. Even tools, blacksmithing, or even more primitive tools, is a lost art. Herbal medicine, locating safe water sources, foraging wild food, growing food, building shelter, cooking without a microwave, cooking over a wood fire, baking in an earthen oven, tracking, trapping, and hunting and hide tanning, grinding grains and cornmeal by hand, making writing materials, charcoal pencils, paper, clay tablets, flint knapping to make axes and arrowheads, fiber arts, spinning, thread, yarn, making weapons, basketry and pottery. We don't know how to butcher, process, and store food, smoke, salt, dehydrate without refrigeration, and canning equipment. Even canning equipment is not as widespread, though its popularity has made a bit of a comeback, maybe due to the popularity of Pioneer Woman, Ree Drummond. We've also lost the ability to know how to run, hide, and fight. And due to our access to so much food, perhaps running isn't even an option. If you've been with me here for a while, you will have seen me try a lot of these primitive skills on for size. I made a drop spindle for spinning cotton I grew into yarn. I built a few rocket stoves, a pottery kiln, and recently an earthen oven. I've become a professional potter using a primitive kick wheel, but more often than not, I use an electric wheel. My family and I forage and grow food. I've made a few tools, read survival books and books on navigation. I've dipped my toe into herbal medicine growing, but I don't know what of it is supported by modern medicine. Outside of soft-shell crabs in my restaurant job and a couple of lobsters here and there, I've never caught and killed my own food. For the first time recently, I located the source of an underground spring. My son was with me, and it was a great teachable moment. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably know even more of what I've been up to. Making bread from sourdough starter, flour, salt, and water. Fermentation to preserve vegetables and fruit in the form of wine. Also, making soap, shampoo bars, laundry detergent, and homemade makeup. I've got a book coming in a week that teaches ancient French methods for food storage that do not include refrigeration or canning. If nothing else, this process will have been an interesting life's work. It is my hope that it is passed on to at least one more generation and potentially never be lost knowledge.